What if everything you learned about human civilization was a carefully constructed lie, and the real story involves a lost continent that supposedly housed 64 million people with technology that defied the laws of physics? Be sure to keep watching until the end of this video, because I'm going to reveal the shocking allegations that mainstream archaeology has been systematically hiding evidence of humanity's true origins for over a century. In the early 1900s, a British Army officer named James Churchward made what he claimed was the discovery of a lifetime. According to his story, he encountered ancient tablets in India written in a mysterious language called Naacal or Naacal. These weren't just any old tablets. Churchward alleged they contained the complete history of a massive Pacific civilization called Mu, which he claimed existed 50,000 years ago and housed more people than are living in modern-day South Korea. But here's where it gets really interesting. Churchward didn't just claim Mu was some small island civilization. He described a continent stretching from the Marianas to Easter Island, covering an area larger than South America. According to his translation of these mysterious tablets, Mu was the original motherland of humanity, the place where civilization truly began, long before Egypt built its first pyramid or the Maya carved their first calendar. Now, you might be wondering, where's the evidence for such an extraordinary claim? That's where things get controversial. Churchward pointed to what he saw as undeniable proof scattered across the globe. Have you ever noticed how ancient civilizations on completely different continents somehow developed remarkably similar architectural styles? The step pyramids of Central America, the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, the temple complexes of Southeast Asia. Could these similarities be mere coincidence? Churchward argued they weren't. He claimed that before Mu's alleged destruction 12,000 years ago, this advanced civilization had established colonies worldwide, spreading their knowledge and technology to every corner of the earth. According to his theory, the survivors of Mu's catastrophic sinking became the founding fathers of Egypt, the Maya, and countless other ancient cultures. The story gets more intriguing when you consider what Churchward described as Mu's capabilities. He claimed they had mastered anti-gravity, developed crystal-based energy systems, and created global communication networks. If his translations were accurate, this means that 50,000 years ago, humans were more technologically advanced than we are today. But here's what makes this whole story so contentious. The archaeological establishment has consistently rejected these claims. They point to the lack of physical evidence, the absence of geological support for a sunken Pacific continent, and serious questions about the authenticity of Churchward's source material. Critics argue that the supposed Naacal tablets have been independently verified and that Churchward's translations are based on speculative interpretations rather than established linguistic principles. Yet supporters of the Mu theory ask a compelling question. If mainstream archaeology is so confident in its rejection, why haven't they conducted comprehensive deep-sea explorations of the Pacific regions where Mu allegedly existed? Could there be institutional reasons for avoiding such investigations? The controversy deepens when you consider that Churchward's work has been largely dismissed by academia, yet continues to influence researchers and writers decades after his death. Some argue this dismissal itself is suspicious, and there might be vested interests in keeping humanity's true origins hidden. Think about it. If Mu really existed, it would fundamentally challenge our understanding of human development, technological progress, and ancient history. The implications would be staggering. We'd have to reconsider not just when human civilization began, but how advanced our ancestors really were. The questions surrounding Mu become even more fascinating when you examine the broader pattern. Ancient cultures across the world share not just architectural similarities, but also flood myths, star mapping knowledge, and sophisticated mathematical concepts. Could these be echoes of a shared heritage from this alleged mother civilization? As we dive deeper into this mystery, the questions multiply faster than the answers. Was Mu a real civilization whose existence challenges everything we know about history? Or was it the product of one man's elaborate imagination? The truth, as we'll discover, might be far stranger than either possibility suggests. The technology that Churchward claimed Mu possessed sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel. But here's where the story takes on an even more extraordinary turn. According to ancient astronaut theorists, these weren't just advanced human inventions, they were gifts from extraterrestrial visitors who allegedly made contact with Earth's earliest civilizations. Think about what Churchward described: anti-gravity propulsion systems, crystal-based energy technology, and global communication networks that could transmit information across continents instantaneously. Does any of this sound familiar? These are exactly the kinds of capabilities that modern UFO researchers claim to observe in contemporary extraterrestrial encounters. The parallels are striking, and they've led some researchers to propose that Mu wasn't just an advanced human civilization, it was humanity's first contact with beings from other worlds. The theory goes even deeper than simple technological exchange. Some ancient astronaut proponents suggest that the Naacals, the priestly class that Churchward claimed ruled Mu, weren't entirely human at all. They theorize that these beings were either extraterrestrial ambassadors or human-alien hybrids who served as intermediaries between cosmic visitors and Earth's primitive population. This would explain not only Mu's alleged technological supremacy, but also why similar advanced knowledge appears to have emerged simultaneously across different continents. Consider the implications for a moment. If these claims held any truth, it would mean that humanity's greatest technological achievements, from the precision of Egyptian pyramid construction to the astronomical accuracy of Mayan calendars, weren't the result of independent human innovation. Instead, they would be remnants of ancient extraterrestrial knowledge passed down through Mu's global network of colonies and survivors. The destruction of Mu itself raises fascinating questions for ancient astronaut theorists. Churchward attributed the continent's demise to natural volcanic catastrophes, but some researchers propose a more sinister explanation. They suggest that Mu's destruction might have been orchestrated, either by the extraterrestrial visitors themselves as part of some cosmic experiment, or by competing alien factions seeking to control Earth's development. This theory attempts to explain one of the most puzzling aspects of ancient history: why human technological progress seems to have stagnated or even regressed after certain periods of apparent advancement. If Mu really possessed crystal energy systems and anti-gravity technology, why did these innovations disappear? Ancient astronaut theorists argue that the knowledge was deliberately suppressed or hidden, possibly to prevent humanity from advancing too quickly or to maintain control over our species' development. The crystal technology allegedly used by Mu deserves special attention. Churchward described massive crystal formations that could harness and direct energy for both practical and mythical purposes. Interestingly, modern research into crystal properties has revealed their potential for energy storage, frequency generation, and even quantum computing applications. Could our current scientific discoveries be rediscovering principles that were once common knowledge in ancient Mu? The global communication networks that Churchward attributed to Mu also mirror contemporary discussions about extraterrestrial technology. Witnesses of modern UFO encounters frequently report telepathic communication and instantaneous information transfer. If these reports have any validity, they suggest that the communication methods allegedly used by Mu's inhabitants might not have been technological at all, but rather consciousness-based systems that transcend physical limitations. Now, before we go any further, guys, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have any thoughts about what's being discussed here, please leave them in the comments down below. The role of the Naacals becomes even more mysterious when viewed through this extraterrestrial lens. If they were indeed hybrid beings or alien ambassadors, their knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and advanced engineering would make perfect sense. This might explain why ancient cultures worldwide developed sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics and mathematical principles that shouldn't have been possible with these supposed primitive tools. Some researchers point to the recurring theme of sky gods and star people in ancient mythologies as evidence supporting the Mu extraterrestrial connection. These beings, described across cultures as descending from the heavens to teach humanity, supposedly brought knowledge of agriculture, architecture, and civilization itself. Could these myths be cultural memories of actual contact with alleged extraterrestrial inhabitants or visitors to Mu? The timing of Mu's supposed destruction, roughly 12,000 years ago, coincides with the end of the last ice age and significant climate changes worldwide. Some ancient astronaut theorists propose that this wasn't coincidental, that the extraterrestrial visitors deliberately timed their departure or intervention to coincide with Earth's natural cycles, ensuring that their influence would be both profound and eventually forgotten. As we examine these claims, the line between speculative fiction and alternative history becomes increasingly blurred. The technology described, the global influence claimed, and the extraterrestrial connections proposed all challenge our fundamental understanding of human development and our place in the universe. Here's where Mu's controversy takes its darkest turn. Critics of mainstream archaeology don't just question the dismissal of Churchward's claims. They suggest there's been a deliberate cover-up spanning over a century. According to these theorists, the reason we haven't found definitive proof of Mu isn't because it doesn't exist, but because powerful institutions have systematically suppressed evidence that would fundamentally challenge our understanding of human history. Consider this: modern technology has mapped the surface of Mars in extraordinary detail, yet vast portions of our own ocean floors remain unexplored. The Pacific Ocean, where Mu allegedly existed, contains some of the deepest and most mysterious underwater formations on Earth. Some researchers argue that if there were genuine interest in disproving the Mu theory, massive underwater archaeological expeditions would have been launched decades ago. Instead, they claim these regions have been deliberately avoided. The geological argument against Mu's existence centers on plate tectonics, the scientific understanding that continents don't simply sink beneath the ocean in catastrophic events. However, some alternative researchers point to recent discoveries of underwater landmasses and submerged ruins that weren't supposed to exist according to conventional geology. While these discoveries don't prove Mu's existence, they do suggest that our understanding of ancient geography might be incomplete. But here's where the story gets even more intriguing. Some researchers claim that knowledge from Mu didn't completely disappear when the continent allegedly sank. They propose that survivors carried this ancient wisdom to various parts of the world, where it was preserved by secret societies and mysterious schools. These organizations, they argue, have maintained Mu's technological and spiritual knowledge for thousands of years, passing it down through carefully guarded initiations and rituals. The implications of this theory are staggering. If true, it would mean that certain groups have passed advanced knowledge about energy manipulation, consciousness expansion, and technological capabilities for millennia. Some theorists suggest this explains the rapid technological advancement of certain civilizations throughout history, as well as the mysterious construction techniques used in ancient monuments that modern engineers still struggle to understand. Government suppression of Mu research allegedly extends beyond simple academic dismissal. Some researchers claim that when significant underwater discoveries are made in the Pacific, they're quickly classified or their findings are restricted from public access. They point to the fact that many deep-sea exploration missions are funded by military or government agencies, giving their organizations control over what information gets released to the public. The question becomes, why would there be such resistance to investigating these claims? Some theorists propose that proof of Mu's existence would challenge more than just our understanding of ancient history. It would raise uncomfortable questions about human potential and our relationship with the cosmos. If humans were once more advanced than they are today, it might suggest that our current technological path isn't the pinnacle of human achievement, but rather a recovery from a much greater fall. Modern discoveries continue to fuel these debates. Underwater ruins found near Japan, megalithic structures discovered on the ocean floor, and anomalous artifacts that don't fit conventional timelines all contribute to the mystery. While mainstream archaeology offers explanations for these findings, they don't require lost continents or ancient advanced civilizations. Alternative researchers argue that these explanations are becoming increasingly strained. The consciousness implications of the Mu theory are perhaps the most profound. If the alleged survivors of Mu preserved knowledge about human potential and consciousness expansion, it might explain why certain meditation techniques, healing practices, and spiritual traditions appear across cultures worldwide. Some researchers suggest that what we call New Age spirituality might actually be fragments of ancient Mu wisdom being discovered. Before we conclude, it's crucial to emphasize that these are highly controversial theories that lack scientific consensus. What I've shared with you are claims and allegations, not established facts. The mainstream scientific community continues to reject the existence of Mu due to lack of verifiable evidence. geological impossibility, and questions about the authenticity of source materials. However, these theories persist because they raise fascinating questions about human history, consciousness, and our place in the universe. As we stand at the threshold of new technological capabilities, quantum computing, consciousness research, and advanced materials science, some of these allegedly ancient concepts don't seem quite so impossible anymore. Whether Mu existed or not, the questions it raises about human potential, hidden history, and the nature of consciousness continues to challenge our assumptions about who we are and where we came from. Do you believe it's possible that ancient civilizations possessed technology that we are only now beginning to understand? Or do you think these similarities between ancient claims and modern UFO reports are purely coincidental? And if you want to learn more, you should check out this video on your end screen right now.